So this is an FO parade, okay? Because your girl has been busy. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany, and this is ChicKnitChronicles. This is going to be a traditional podcast episode where we'll talk about the things that I have finished knitting recently, any whips that I might have, and any acquisitions. I think I have one acquisition. So yeah, let's get started. So first up, I finally finished this Cozy Classic Raglan. This is by Jessie Mate, and this is a Cozy Classic Light fingering weight. It is knit out of, this is the pink is Explore Knits and Fibers, and the colorway is called Rose Hip, and this is in her fingering weight base. And then the beige stripe is Malabrigo yarn sock in the colorway Natural. It came together really well. I have not blocked it yet. I've worn it once, but I have not blocked it yet. So as you can see, there's a bit of a difference in gauge in my sleeves. I may have even used a different size needle to knit one versus the other. But either way, it's fine. They have the same number of decreases, but there's definitely a gauge difference in the time that I knit them. And to be honest, I don't even remember which sleeve I knit second. Maybe this one? It doesn't matter. But no, I love it. It's very comfortable. I think it came together really well. I will show you. Not even sure if you can see this, but I'm going to stand like this. My belly button is here, and so it's a good 6 inches below my belly button, so not cropped. It's below the waist. I can wear it with jeans, high-waisted or not, French tucked or not, and that's kind of what I want. I wanted something that was universal, toss on, go. Am I going to put on some wedges? Am I going to put on some sneakers? Like, it needs to be able to go wherever it is I'm going. So very excited. Finally done. Finally. So that feels good. So this is an FO parade, okay? Because your girl has been busy. Remember how we talked about all those sleeves? Guess what? I finished all of them are done. I finished my caramel sweater by Petit. It is knit out of Biches Yarn Co. They're no longer in business, but the colorway was called Happy Yeti, and I am holding it with Biches Mohair in the color, I believe it was medium blue. I think it came together really well. The last time you guys saw it, there you go, that was my stitch marker. The last time y'all saw it, and now she's done. Very exciting. Also still needs to be blocked. This one has not yet been blocked, but it's done. So even the ends are woven. So for me, and by woven, I mean hems. Like, that's the only thing I did was hems. Oh, okay. So this is one thing I did. When I bound off the body, actually all the bind offs I did, this was the first time, I think. Yeah, this was the first time I did the Italian sewn bind off without the setup rows. Casey from Young Quilt Knit mentioned that she never does the setup rows, she just binds off. And I was curious what would happen. So I did it for the first time on the bottom hem, and it's not as wavy as they usually are, which is interesting. And I also did it on the ends of my sleeves, so it looks good. Again, it's not blocked, but it is done. And I also put in short rows for the bust, which I tend to do. I don't know if you can see those there. So that's exciting. If you guys are interested in the deep dive of the caramel sweater, let me know. I know it's not one of her more popular patterns, but I enjoyed it. Again, it is a turtleneck pattern, but I did it with, I did a 3-inch mock neck, just because I just didn't want a turtleneck. And I'm going to take off the Progress Keeper because I don't need it anymore. She's done. That there. So yes, a caramel sweater. Oh, my daddy. This was my emotional cast on. I was like, I needed something that didn't require thought or energy when I cast this one on. This was right after I found out my dad had passed, and I cast it on then. I think that's probably why there are no progress pictures of it. I don't think I took a single picture while I was making this one. I just cast it on and went for it. Um, but yeah, you're finally done. I do want to do some pictures in it. I haven't done that yet. Again, I also need to block it, but yeah. So that's my caramel sweater. And then, and then I also finished, wait, which one's the front? This is the front. Okay. I finished my Serein sweater. And this is knit out of Treehouse Dove DK and Through the Pines. And this is the most gorgeous olivey green. I did not rotate the yarns except for when I was ending one skein and I did the next one. So I would helical knit them together for like a couple of inches. And that's the only, like, I didn't consistently helical knit these, and these are very even. So like I didn't save the body yarn to do the sleeve. So those were just started cold from one skein to the next. So those were really even. And then, but for the body, I did helical knit them together, and it came out so nicely. I will insert a picture of me wearing it. But I'm really happy. Honestly, I almost cast on another one of this sweater. Like immediately, I was like, I need another one. I ended up changing my mind on that, but I thought about it. I thought about it just because it's the drape on the cowl is really nice. Um, I like the sweater a lot. If I had, I don't have a whole lot of DK in stash, but if I had more DK in stash, I would definitely knit another one of these sweaters. The one thing, I think I talked about this in my last episode, was like I there's no bottom ribbing, so you knit this to the length you want it to be, and then you cast off. And it's a really nice cast off. Caidree has the, did I say who? Serein Sweater by Caidree. She has a YouTube video on how to do her cast off, and I quite like it. It's very neat, and it's very stretchy, and it allows for a good roll without the roll being excessive. So this was really, really, really good knit. I very much recommend this pattern. And I just realized where I weaved in my yarn is showing a little bit, but you can't really see it when you're wearing it because the neck cowls a little bit more. But if you're looking for like a good basic DK weight sweater, very, very comfortable. I like this. I want 4 more. And the pièce de résistance. It's done, y'all. Zipper and all. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. It's done. It's done. I knit the zipper sweater by Petit Knit. And I knit a zipper placket. And I sewed in a zipper. Who am I? I'm a person who knit a sweater with a zipper and sewed it in. What? I still can't believe it. The amount of oohing and ahhing I made my husband do when I was done, I was like, no, no, you need to see this. Like, do you see this? Do you see what I did? Um, I recorded myself sewing down the placket and sewing in the zipper. Um, it was a lot easier than I thought, though it did require a lot of attention and like effort and like making sure it was right. There are a couple of spots where I personally feel like I sewed the zipper too close to the placket, or I sewed the placket too close to the fabric is too close to the zipper in certain spots. It's mostly fine, and it's mostly on like this part of the neck, because like when I try and zip it, it gets stuck a little bit, and it's better than it was when I first did it. Because when I first did it, there were spots where it was like, I'm not doing that at all. But again, like I do plan on making a deep dive episode all about this sweater, because man, this sweater. Um, but yeah. So I'm very excited. I didn't have to cut the zipper or anything. It happened to be the perfect length, because that was really freaking me out. Also for this one, I did the same thing with the bind off. I didn't do the setup rows for the Italian sewn bind off. Is the Italian sewn bind off and a what's the other bind off that people use? This other sewn bind off. Are they the same thing? It's just the Italian part is it the setup rows? Is that what it is? I don't know, but I didn't do the setup rows on the sleeves. Um, I didn't do them on the sleeves, but I did do them on the hem, I think. Yes. On the bottom hem, I think I did do the setup rows, but on the sleeves, I didn't. Because now that I've done it without the setup rows, I really don't see, I don't need that extra bump that the setup rows create. Like, I'm fine with just immediately doing the sewn bind off. So I like it. Oh, the yarn. Okay, the yarn is um, Biches Bouche, Le Petit Mohair in the color Nude Pink, and Treehouse knits, I believe it's Spruce Sock in the colorway Everlasting. Um, I did it. I did it. I'm so excited. I'm sorry. Am I supposed to be like, I did it, I completed my sweat? No, I am proud of myself, because I was afraid of this zipper. Once I actually started doing it, and you know what's weird? I didn't even watch the Petit knit video. I watched Rebecca Close from the Cray. She has one for her lauder. Is it the lauder one where it's a 3/4 zip? Um, but I watched hers, and then I was like, oh, I understand. Because you know what was weird? When I first finished, I'm not going to bore you with the details. I did it. It's finished. I love her. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of me. Because I did that. I did that. So I'm very excited. Like, so excited. Um, yeah, so done. Um, okay. And that's all my FOs. I mean, it was a lot of FOs. It was 4 sweaters. I finished 4 sweaters. 4 sweaters. Um, so my active whip is my Lento by, okay, so I had to check. I was like, wait, I only have one whip right now. And technically, yes. Everything else is inactive whip. I know that in my last episode, I showed you the Poyola pullover by Sari Nordlund. Haven't touched it. I remember I was on sleeve continent because I was finishing all the sleeves. So that's what I did. I started all the sleeves. And because I finished 4 sweaters, that meant I got a new cast on because that's how my brain works. I feel like the math is mathin'. Like it makes sense to me. Anyway, so yes, I cast on the if you can hear my daughter, I'm sorry. She likes to yell. It's fun for her. She's a toddler. It's what they do. Um I cast on the Lento by Joanna Helen of Lana Magazine. And I am making this out of Malabrigo yarn sock in the colorway Persia. This is how the 2 colors knit up. I'm holding it double. So this is fingering weight yarn. I'm holding it double, and it's giving you this really pretty blue-gray marl. And the yarn itself, this is what I've got left. I'm doing it at a little bit smaller gauge. The gauge is supposed to be 15 stitches and mine is 18. And interesting factoid, I don't understand gauge. I know certain gauges thereabouts equal certain yarn weights ish. I know that you can manipulate gauge to your advantage, but the actual math of gauge does not make sense to me. Like, I've had it explained to me on numerous occasions, and in the moment I get it when it's being told to me. But when I am left to my own devices to do the math myself, combined with the fact that I don't gauge swatch, I just start knitting. I found a website that does gauge math for you, and that was a godsend because I was so anxious to cast something on, which is again how I ended up with a Lento in this yarn, because this was not the original plan. The original plan for my Lento was this. I was going to hold this double, but guess what? This wasn't wound up. This was. So guess what my Lento is? This. Couldn't find my US 10s, but could find my US 9s. So guess what I did? I cast it on. I'm using the US 9. So this poor sweater is an amalgamation of many, many sizes. I cast on for the 42, I think, is the size. Immediately after, because the collar on it is quite wide, and I didn't want wide. Again, I wanted something closer to the neck because, again, I'm still in that mode. So I cast on for like the 42, and then I was like, oh, I'm knitting the 45, so I'll increase to that. And then I started knitting, and then I was like, remember, Tiffany, how you're knitting on a smaller gauge? Like, you should like check your gauge. So I did. And it's hard to check gauge when you're like right here, right? Like it's hard because the fabric's all bowed and it's not blocked. And so what I did was I checked it and I was getting 18. And I was like, that seems like a lot, right? Because like it's supposed to be 21. No, it's supposed to be 15. Even though it's on 10s, I'm like, but it's only one needle size and I'm still holding fingering weight double. But I mean, again, it's also fingering and mohair on US 10s, and I'm doing fingering weight held double on 9s. So I'm already in the realm of doing whatever I want to do, right? So then I'm following the numbers for the 45, and I actually had divided for sleeves, and I kept looking at the sweater. I was like, this sweater looked real small. Like, I feel like this is too small. Like, so I checked gauge again. No, I had checked gauge at 18. I was like, that seems like too many. I checked gauge again, and it was like 16. So I looked at my website, and it was like, okay, you should be able to knit like the 47, and it should equal the 45 or whatever. Like, so basically I'm knitting one size up. So I'm like, okay. So I had divided for sleeves after following the numbers for the 45. Then I was like, this sweater is real small size. And like, you're not that small no more. So I checked gauge again. And at this point, I'm like down here. So like I have plenty of space where it's good and flat, right? So I checked gauge again, and I'm at 18. Now, those of you who understand gauge math will know that I was in a heap of trouble. Being someone who does not understand gauge math, I had to go back to the website, and the website says, sis, you should be knitting the 55. The 55 to get the 44. So, okay, all right, I could do that. So I ripped back. At that point, I was about an inch after the sleeve divide. I ripped back. It's only an inch in a stockinette. It's fine. I ripped back, put the sleeves back on the needle, and then I went to go look at the pattern. Y'all tell me why the pattern for the 55 don't make no sense. None. Now, those of you who have the Lento, it's a fairly popular pattern. I want you to go look at the pattern sizes and the stitch counts for after you do your short rows. And then it tells you that you have to increase every other row, standard raglan, from after the short rows down to the sleeve divide. Now, for the 55, it also adds an aspect of compound raglan, which means that you are increasing on the body and the sleeve at an incongruent rate. It's not equal anymore. You're doing some body, some sleeve, some body, some sleeve, sometimes all of them. Like, that's the math don't make sense. It's literally not possible. Like, to get this, say the starting number was 100. These are not the pattern numbers. Not that it would matter because they're wrong. But if the pattern says, okay, you should have, when you finish all your standard increases from the neck cast on, because I went all the way back. Now, I know that my sweater is Frankenstein. I know that. But I didn't even talk about my numbers. I'm talking about just the numbers for the 45, the 55. From the cast on to the end of the raglan. Problem number one. From the end of the regular raglan to the end of the compound raglan, the stitch counts that you should have for the body and the sleeve don't add up. Because how I finished with the raglan at 100. Just making up. First of all, these two numbers don't make no sense, right? But okay. Let's just say that I'm supposed to have 100 stitches around. Okay, fine. And then I'm supposed to increase 22 stitches. The math should then be 122 stitches, right? That's how that maths for my brain. Okay. But the pattern would say something stupid like 156. How I increased 22 stitches and I'm supposed to have 156. Make it make sense. And then, right? It'll break down all these numbers and the total body circumference doesn't equal the front and back plus the sleeves. Where was the tech editor? So many people have made this sweater. is it only my brain that's broken? Because I literally was like, okay, I sat there and I counted. I was like, I can't be like, so many people have knit this sweater. And I was like, maybe people haven't knit the 55. So then I'm searching on Ravelry, trying to look for people who have knit the 55, talking about how the numbers don't make no sense. And then I got tired and I got aggravated and I was like, it's fine. So basically what I did was I just did random raglan increases, compound, not compound. I was just doing stuff until my stitch count equaled the total body stitch count that they had. Mind you, the total body stitch count does not equal the front and back plus the arms. Those four don't equal. It's fine. It's fine. I just increased until I got to that same stitch count. And then I finished knitting the body. And it looks like it's going to fit now. It's a little bit cropped, which is fine because it's for spring. And I mostly wear high-waisted jeans, so it's fine. It'll come. I've been trying to be wary of my microphone because, you know, I just be throwing stuff on my chest. Okay, so if I put this here, then I got my bust short rows because I always do my bust short rows unless I have stripes. And then it comes down to here. It's right below my belly button. It's about an inch below my belly button. Plus, it's not blocked, so it should have a really nice drape once it's blocked. And I don't have much yarn left, so what I'm going to do is because I'm marling, I'm using both of them, and so I'm going to divide these in two, and what's here is what's here, and I'm just going to knit, so I'll probably end up with like half sleeves. They're definitely going to be short sleeves, but half sleeves, and I'm going to leave it at that, and that'll be fine. Again, this is a spring knit. The goal, use my stash yarn. I'm eating it. I'm eating up all the stash yarn. Yeah. So, needless to say, I was a little frustrated. I was like, because everyone waxes poetic about this sweater. Like, waxes poetic. Y'all love this sweater. Ain't nobody knit the 55 because the numbers, the math ain't mathing. Okay. Not in this particular instance. Now I know at the top I was doing whatever I wanted to do. That's on me. I own my mess. And the top half is my mess. I was doing whatever I wanted to do because I was impatient and needed new knitting on my needles. That was a me thing. I'm fine with that. But now, but my sweater, it's going to be so cute with some white jeans for summer. I'm going to be cute with my Frankenstein sweater. Yeah, that's my only whip, my only active whip, because that the color work payola that's sitting on the side, I haven't touched it. And yeah, that's really it. I have a test knit that I'm working on, and hopefully I will tell you about that the next time. I can't remember if I'm allowed to talk about it, so I'm going to default to not talking about it. But knowing me, it will probably be done by the next podcast episode because I recognize who I am as a person. I'm fine with it. It's fine. I'm a little bit obsessive. Just a wee bit. Just a wee bit. Just a wee bit obsessive. It's fine. And I have time. I have a lot of meetings during the day where my camera actually gets to be off. I work from home. I have a lot of meetings. So I knit during my meetings and after my little goes to bed. So I have time that I recognize that not everybody does. Yeah. And I knit at a pretty decent clip too. I knit pretty fast. Or at least that's what I'm told. I feel like I knit at a pretty decent clip. Whatever. But yeah, so my one acquisition, I am knitting the Kinvarra Cardigan by Minimum Knits. And I already had this Suri. This is Explore Knits and Fibers for Suri in the color Rioja from her Spain collection. And I decided, okay, I went to the yarn store with a plan. I really wanted to knit the Kinvarra Cardigan, and I either wanted to use this yarn, which was in stash, or this yarn, which is Treehouse, in her Mohair, and this colorway is called Nard Dog, and it's this cool brown, and I feel like the yarn, the silk that the Mohair is blown through is black, like the thread itself. I don't know if you can see that. The thread itself is black. So it gives a very different look than you're used to when it comes to mohairs, which I really like. So I took both of these with me to the yarn store, and I was like, I need a fingering weight to go with them because I don't have a fingering weight enough. I have some burgundies, but I didn't have enough for the Kinvarra Cardigan, which was really annoying, actually. So I took this with me. And then I didn't have anything that matched this because I wanted something that would go into the background. I didn't want anything that was going to compete with either one. Like I wanted it to be something that was kind of matchy. Just because for this particular one, that's what I wanted. So the yarn, my only acquisition I got was Cascade Heritage, and I believe the color is called Burgundy. The number is 5663. So these two will go together for the Kinvarra Cardigan. And I feel like this burgundy will be a good base for the Suri. So I want to knit more cardigans, and I've never actually knit with Suri before. I probably would have cast this on, or Traveler's Sweater, also by Minimum Knits, if the yarn had already been wound. But this was wound, so this is what I got cast on because I am who I am. It's fine. It's fine. So this will be my Kinvarra Cardigan. And I'm excited. So yes, this was my only acquisition. Like I said, I'm trying to stick to stash. And all projects, for at least this next season, need to at least start with stash. I can't just be all willy-nilly just buying something brand new to just be doing something brand new. I got plenty of yarn. I need to start with what I have. I'm being reasonable. My mother is always saying, but you have so much yarn. Use what you have. Ma'am, you all in my Kool-Aid. You all in my Kool-Aid. So that is it, I think. I feel it feels weird when I actually realized I only had one active whip. I was like, I don't understand. It feels strange. How do I only have one thing I'm working on right now? Who are you? What have you done with Tiffany? It'll be fine. But if you've been here this long, thank you for hanging out with me. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you have the Lento sweater, look at the 55 and please let me know, am I crazy? Like, did I forget how to count, or does it just not make sense? Because I really, like, even if you just look at the compound raglan part, like after you do the regular raglan, when you get to that, like the extra part that's like right here, giving you that little extra space, do the math. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Because I really want to know if I'm crazy, because this is really concerning to my soul. But anyway, please subscribe. It really helps out my channel. Share with a friend. Maybe they want to hang out with us and we can talk about our knitting and our yarn somewhere where at least we understand. And I will see you next time, and be on the lookout all about the zipper sweater. It's coming. Zipper sweater light. I did that. Bye, y'all.